Okay. Looks like it's starting to fill up a bit. Nice. Hey guys. So yeah, maybe looks like we're starting to get a lot of listeners dialing in. So yeah, maybe let me just kick things off. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining the second AMA in our lead up series to Abelian's inaugural post-quantum blockchain day, which is happening October 4th in Hong Kong. It'll be at the tallest building in the city, the International Commerce Center, the ICC. So we're going to have a full day of panels, speakers. You'll hear from leaders in the Web3, quantum technologies, and AI spaces. And then we'll end the day with some drinks and networking. So yeah, we're expecting about 500 people. We still have tickets available, and make sure you stick around for the whole AMA, because we'll be doing a Q&A competition in our Telegram group after this AMA to win to win 5 free tickets. So yeah, make sure you stick around and participate in that Q&A competition to get a free ticket to the conference. So the topic for today, we're talking about stablecoins and how we can secure them through post-quantum cryptography. We have 2 speakers with us today. The first one, Danny Leung, the CEO of PQA Labs. And we also have Tao Pan, who works for Beosin, a blockchain security and audit firm. So yeah, maybe I can just invite Danny and Tao to give quick introductions of themselves and their companies before we jump into questions. Danny, you want to start?
Yeah, sure, Sam. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining for this AMA. Danny Leung. I founded PQA Labs just earlier this year to be a licensed stablecoin issuer based out of Hong Kong. And I think 2 things that really drives me for doing this is that, coming from more of a traditional finance background with a keen interest in technology and blockchain, I've always seen stablecoin to have the highest product market fit to the whole crypto ecosystem. And that's why, and coupled with a new technology that's post-quantum, I basically feel that there's a lot of potential to grow a lot of opportunities out of this. So basically, we are fiat-backed stablecoin on US dollars. Well, one pegged to US dollars. We are fully reserved, and our token PQUSD. PQ stands for post-quantum, which we'll go into a little bit later. Will be launched very soon onto different blockchains. So hope to share a little bit more with all of you later.
Awesome. Thanks. And Tao?
Okay. Thank you, Sam and Danny. And yeah, pretty appreciative for having me here. So I'm Tao from Beosin. I work as a security researcher in Beosin with a focus on the smart contract vulnerabilities. And I used to offer the smart contract security training for the police force of Singapore and Philippines. And last week, I just gave another security workshop in Malaysia. And yeah, so happy to come back to Hong Kong. And Beosin is just a security company, and we mainly focus on the security and the compliance of Web3. So for the security, we offer smart contract audit and also monitoring, running the runtime monitoring for the Web3 project. And for compliance, we offer the KYT, Know Your Transaction service, for centralized exchanges and also some decentralized cross-chain bridges, and also some like OTC services in Hong Kong. So our clients include hashkey exchanges in Hong Kong, and also Aegis and Cobol, the custodians company in Singapore. Yeah, so that's the overview of Beosin.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks. KYT. I hadn't heard that one before. So know your transactions.
Yeah, know your transactions.
Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you guys both for being here and sharing your insights. I just wanted to start, I guess, with a general question, just kind of laying out the importance of stablecoins, and maybe Danny, could you share why stablecoins are an essential part of the crypto ecosystem?
Yeah, of course. I think this is actually the most fundamental questions why anybody will actually pay any attention to stablecoins, right? So actually the way I see it, and would like to share it with everyone, is in any kind of ecosystem, you need money, okay? Whether it's in your current fiat world, whether it's back in ancient times, there's always a need for money. So the way I see stablecoin, it's actually I don't see stablecoin as a crypto in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. I see that it's basically the stable money in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So it's just a kind of a blockchain representation of money, right? So there are three, as most of you would know, there are basically three qualities, right, to what money is. Basically, it's a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and a store of value. And stablecoins basically brings these three, attributes onto blockchain. So it is essential because for every ecosystem, the monetary base is always needed for anything to transact. And stablecoin basically lowers the entire hurdle of any kind of users or participant into the blockchain ecosystem, right? So if you look at into kind of, okay, so what happens in a cryptocurrency kind of ecosystem? Well, what are usages, right? So for crypto markets, right now, a lot of stablecoin being used for, financial uses, right? Tradings, DeFi's, right? All the finance related activities. Right?
Yeah.
However, when it comes to, there's actually a much bigger usage globally, if you look at it, than just a crypto ecosystem that stablecoins being used, right? If you look at the world, there is a lot of countries, a lot of societies that have unbanked populations, that has volatile currencies, right? This is where stablecoin comes in to really provide a value, right, on top of just being a crypto kind of market type of a tool.
Yeah.
Right. So this is, and we're just really at the first inning, right, of a 9-inning baseball game. We're looking into, there will be a lot of increasing adoptions as the usage expands from the current kind of basic usages in the crypto market, as it goes towards more of a cross-border transfers, right, for payment. I mean, recently there has been multiple news about how the transaction volume has hit an all-time highs, right?
Yeah.
Payments in Singapore of using stablecoin also reach a record high of almost $1 billion in Q2, right? So there's just so many. Yeah, please.
I saw USDT. They're doing almost as much daily value as Visa.
That's right.
In transactions. Right. So it's. So do you think stablecoins will eventually come to kind of replace these TradeFi systems? Like will stablecoins ever replace SWIFT, for example, or for cross-border payments, or are they going to coexist, for the foreseeable future or for the forever,
I see. I think that's a very big question, right? And I think in the foreseeable future, I don't see stablecoins to be replacing any kind of traditional finance in any meaningful ways. And actually, just to tag on your comments about this Visa report in terms of the volume, almost same as Visa. So Visa actually came out with a report, kind of rebutted that argument, right? Okay. So they actually came out with a report that if you look at all the transaction volume, the stablecoin transaction volume in 2023, the total is about 10.8 trillion. Okay, which almost matches what Visa has. However, 2.3 trillion of that Visa found, or Visa reports found, is only 2.3 trillion that turned out to be organic. Organic means transfers, payments, kind of actual usages.
I see.
While 80% of that were basically what they call to be inorganic volumes, which is a short term for bots trading. So about 80% of the stablecoin right now is being used for trading.
Okay.
Only about 20% being used for what we call for real world kind of usages. But right. I think that trend is going to grow, right? I think that gap is going to narrow, but I do not see stablecoins to kind of replace our fiat money just for multiple reasons. Jurisdictions, politics, all kind of different reasons. But hey, maybe in our lifetime. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe when you look at the timeline, 50, 80 years later, who knows? Right.
For sure. Yeah. And okay, so Tao, I know you're focusing more on sort of the security side of things. Could you share just with everybody the biggest risks that you see in stablecoins, and currently how are you, or how are people mitigating these risks?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the first risk users may face in using stablecoin is the market volatilities, because we have seen USDC depegged, right? Depegged in 2023, and the value of USDC dumps to about 90 cents in the crypto market. So last year, so the fluctuations in the stable coins price in the crypto assets can lead to the situations where the stablecoin lose their pegs and the user suffers loss. And so in this, so the general users cannot do much or take any effective measures, because this kind of situations should be handled by the governments and by the regulatory framework on stablecoins. So the governments should try to launch a comprehensive regulatory framework on stablecoins, and to ensure 100% redeem from stablecoins to fiat money. And we have seen like Hong Kong and Singapore and also the US are trying to improve their regulatory framework on stablecoins. So I think users can be safer when using like USDT and USDC in the future, because the framework has been improved. So this is one of the risks. Another one is the smart contract. The smart contracts exploitment, because because the stablecoin smart contract like USDT and USDC, they use the proxy contract, okay, the upgradable smart contract. So if the private keys of these of the controller or the proxy addresses are compromised, so the hackers or the attackers can use the private keys to upgrade the smart contract of the stablecoins and try to do some malicious activities like adding some addresses into whitelist and try to do the money laundering. So that's one way to conduct some criminals, or they can also try to set some users balances of the smart of the USDT or USDC to 0. Yeah, that's also possible, and so that's another risk that users may face when they try to use USDT or USDC in the crypto market.
Yeah. So how do you prevent that for people from manipulating the smart contract?
So the effective way should be conducted by the companies. So the issuer, the Tether and the Circle, so they should ensure the security of their internal operation, and also to secure their private keys management, and to avoid such situations happen in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
So general users, I think they are in a I should say they have little things to do, but the companies and also the governments, they can do a lot to help users to secure their assets. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can just chime in, because I think what Tao just said is spot on, right? I think when it comes to stablecoin issuers like us, right? So we are just like a USDT and USDC, right? This is absolutely kind of the most important to ensure that. So basically, there are two types of risks that Tao just mentioned. Right? One has to do with kind of external, macro, government, all that stuff. Which for stablecoin, you can actually for fiat-backed stablecoin, because I'm not talking about any kind of stablecoin, algorithmic or crypto asset back, right? When you talk about fiat reference-backed stablecoin, that side of risk, well, pretty much just like a bank, right? Whether we depack or not, it's basically what happens like a bank run in the real world, right? So it is very little what we can do other than we make sure that we maintain transparent, to make sure that we are 100% reserved, and then we maintain enough liquidity, right? So that when a volatile event happens, we can deal with it. Okay. But when
that USDC, when USDC depegged back in 2023, it was because the Silicon Valley Bank, right? They got closed down, and and USDC had $3 billion or something sitting in the bank in reserves, and so it was kind of like a counterparty risk that happened there. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. The underlying asset of the USDC. So a small portion of the underlying asset. So they stored in the Silicon-backed bank, right?
Yeah, it was only about 10% of USDC's reserve at the time.
Okay.
Yes.
And even that caused a huge kind of panic.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something that we as a stablecoin issuer definitely need to kind of manage, but it's a little bit outside our control, right? But what Tom mentioned, the second one, when we talk about security check, that is absolutely under our control.
Yes.
And we as stablecoin issuer have to make sure that part is absolutely done to the not just 100%, but 200-300% of our ability to make sure. And that's why we do, as a stablecoin issuer, we do work with firms like Beosin, right, and the others to ensure not only our smart contract are audited and re-audited, right, and make sure our transaction always being monitored, right, and also we want to make sure that our not only cyber kind of hacks, but I also want to mention just a little bit about our product, which is post-quantum, is that's again something that we need to worry about. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a year, but as soon as maybe 3 to 5 to 7 years later, something that we might have to face is that when quantum computers become powerful enough, right now, because you got to know, right now, all the stable coins on the popular blockchains right now, whether it's Ethereum or the EVM chain Solana, they can all be cracked by quantum computers. Whatever cryptographic algorithm they use will be cracked, right? So even though it's not coming tomorrow, but what we are trying to do here at PQA Labs is to create a stablecoin product that will give our users a peace of mind that, you know what, if you use PQUSD, the way how you use it will be just very similar to how you use USDT and USDC, but you never have to worry about when quantum computers come, right? It's gonna give you that peace of mind to say, hey, you don't want to have that, the knife hanging on the back of your neck, right? Sort of thing. That when will my stable coin, my money, disappear or get stolen one day by some? And you right? That's very important.
That's the hack now, decrypt later threat, right?
That's absolutely it, right? Because you have to understand, I think when quantum computers become powerful enough, who are the users that can actually use this? Because this won't be cheap when quantum computers become more widely available. So we're talking about a lot of potentially state actors that could be the bad actors, right? We're talking about potentially the North Koreans, for example, right? They right now they are basically storing all our public keys on chain. And they are just waiting for one day when quantum computer becomes powerful enough, they start feeding those public keys into a quantum computer that runs this algorithm called Shor's algorithm, which is a mathematical algorithm that can reverse engineer everybody's wallet's private key. And once that get reverse engineered, all of our wallets in existing blockchains will be compromised, right? So that is something that we at PQA Labs, working with Abelian, right, is actually trying to kind of deal with heads on, basically at first.
Right.
We don't want to wait till that time to do it. So it's actually also very important. I want to bring that up as a security risk.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you see some of these central banks and like the Bank of International Settlements, you see pilots of them trying to integrate post-quantum sort of security measures in their sort of TradeFi tech stack. So, these organizations definitely see this quantum threat coming, and they're trying to prepare for it as well, I guess. But hopefully we can leapfrog them with the PQ lab stablecoin. So maybe we could kind of move towards regulation. You mentioned that Tao as one sort of effective tool for mitigating against some of these risks. Maybe could you just share sort of what you're seeing on the regulatory landscape, kind of in key jurisdictions, maybe, whichever ones you've been focusing on. I know you're looking at Hong Kong as well, and there are some recent developments in the Hong Kong jurisdiction. So could you maybe just give us a rundown on those?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please.
Danny first. You first.
Sure. Yeah, Danny, you want to go first, or?
Okay. Yeah. So I can say a few things that maybe we can kind of tag on what I say. So basically, when I first started the PQA Labs, one of the things that we set to be our mantra is that we are going to be a regulated and compliant stablecoin issuer. Okay, so one thing that we actually look into is actually all the different regulations and licensing kind of regimes for different jurisdictions around the world. So from that standpoint, it's actually, if you look at it, right, that I think Asia side, many places, including Singapore, Japan, have already been quite kind of forward with it in terms of having doing under the payment licenses, and they're actually working very diligently to have their stablecoin regulations. And then if you move to maybe like Europe, right, Mika, they actually just announced their stablecoin regulation in June, right, and kind of finalized what they need to do. So it's actually quite strict, and they actually follow very quickly by Switzerland, which is not part of the EU, but FINMA in Switzerland came out with their stablecoin regulation in August, right, following pretty much kind of in line with what Mika is offering, right, which is actually quite strict if you look at it when it comes to reserve management, when in terms of certain or majority of the percentage should be euro based, right, instead of US dollar or other currency based. But I think the way with regulation works is that for a lot of industry players or participants like us and PQA Labs, whether the regulation is too restrictive or not, I don't think that's really the biggest issue, right? It's actually whether there is some clarity, right, in terms of what are the red lines and what are the rules that we're playing within, right? Once those rules and are set, everybody has a choice to decide whether they want to play or not, right? So, and I think that's actually the right way to do it to grow any kind of industry, including crypto. And I think Hong Kong right now, where we are based, is doing the same, which we appreciate. They actually went through their consultation phase, last year and just concluded a few months ago. So we're looking to see potentially a regulation come out maybe later this year or early next year, right? And Hong Kong is actually going through a sandbox program, which we at PQA Labs are applying into because we want to be kind of one of the early participants and hopefully grantees of its license. So those are all very good kind of movements when it comes to regulation side. The only thing, right, that I would like to add is, obviously of all the countries I just mentioned, US was left out, right? And I actually feel that, despite I think a lot of people on this AMA already know what's happening in the US, given that it's kind of flip-flopping kind of attitude towards crypto and stablecoin, I actually feel that for this industry, stablecoin included, to prosper, US participation is inevitable. It's almost a must. Like the US is the leader in all this kind of technology advancements. So I do look forward to US have a more clearer regulation around crypto in general or stablecoin specific. I think when that comes, there will be a big boost to the whole industry, and so that everybody can play. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Tao, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah. I want to follow up with Danny. So talking about the US, although the US has issued some act to define the virtual currency or the crypto asset, so there are still many chaos in the regulatory side, because you can see the SEC and also the CTFC or so there are many different departments of the governments trying to regulate the cryptos and also regulate the stablecoins. So the US does not have the clear and also the comprehensive regulatory framework on stablecoins. Yeah, and when we see, and I just want to add some information about the Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has been trying to conduct a comprehensive regulatory on the crypto and also on stablecoins. Like Danny said, there's a sandbox of the stablecoins right now in Hong Kong, and there are also other projects issuing their stablecoins in Hong Kong, like the IDA or and also WSPN. So they are trying to issue their stablecoins pegged in Hong Kong dollar in Hong Kong. So yeah, so we have seen there are many projects. So they are trying to do the regulated stablecoins in Hong Kong, and also the Hong Kong MA, the monitoring authority. So they are also exploring the central bank digital currency, the CBDC. Also in Hong Kong. So which can align with the stablecoin development and also create a more regulated environment for the stablecoins in the following years. So I am quite positive about the regulations of Hong Kong in the stablecoins. And talking about the trends, the regulatory trends on stablecoins, we can see all these governments like Hong Kong, Singapore, also in Europe, the EU. So the framework, the regulatory framework mentioned by Danny, the MICA, MICA, markets in crypto assets. So all these governments take a very strict attitudes towards the anti-money laundering using stablecoins or other cryptocurrencies. So they are trying to conduct the AML using cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so that's just some points that I want to add. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. How do you guys view CBDCs? You hear a lot about them being sort of this way to monitor everybody's payment and kind of have this overreaching insight overreach from governments into people's private lives. I'm just curious how you guys think about the CBDCs and how they sort of compare to the stable coins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I won't use CBDC, and I think so in my personal view, so CBDC just an alternative for the governments to provide another like digital money or another representation of the fiat money to the general public. So there's nothing unique of the CBDC compared to the fiat money, because when you're using CBDC, there's so the governments can do the monitoring and also censorship, and and they take all the control of your of your CBDC assets, and the accounting system of the CBDC. So they use the private blockchain systems, not the public blockchain. So for me, I won't use CBDC in any region, and I prefer use stablecoins because we can use the stablecoins because the accounting system of stablecoins is the public blockchain. So we can use stablecoins to do the transfer payment, cross-border payments very easily, and I can use stablecoins in any region. Like in Singapore, I can use stablecoins to pay the Grab driver's expense, and also
Okay.
And also I can use stablecoins to buy real estate in Dubai. So so there are many advantages of stablecoins when compared to the CBDC. So I think it's just like CBDC is just a useless government's work
Yeah.
on their fiat money. Yeah, so that's my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually, couldn't agree more. I think, and that's what actually goes back to one of the earlier questions that Sam mentioned, whether fiat will ever replace stablecoins or vice versa. This is exactly an example why the two, at least in the foreseeable future, will coexist.
Mhm.
It is simply because the two have very different kind of tech infrastructure in terms of public versus private kind of a blockchain, and then it is very different use cases, right? And target a very different kind of end users, right? And when it comes down to end user, there's always the optionality in terms of how you want to use certain type of money or digital money for what, right?
Yeah.
So unless you're like China that bans stablecoin or crypto at all,
Mhm.
right? I think for any other places where let's just say crypto or stablecoin is not banned, the two will always coexist, and because the for a lot of things that Tao just mentioned, and people like to have the choices, and people don't like to be monitored, right? So if you see, for example, China was doing some earlier, pilots, right, with the ECNY, and they give like free CBDC to people, right? Then of course, people will use it, right? Even
Right.
eventually, if you move towards like, okay, all your salaries has to be paid in CBDC, sure, right? Because you can still use those CBDC to eventually to make your everyday purchases, right?
Yeah.
But outside those CBDCs, if I ever want to use any more of my own uses, I will venture to guess that most people will choose to use stablecoin only because it's freer, right? It's more private, right? It's less controlled, right?
Right.
So it's gonna be a hybrid kind of usages.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, got it. One other thing I wanted to ask you guys about too is just the market of stablecoins. It's last time I checked, it was like 175 billion market cap total, and then of which USDT and USDC was like 155 billion of that total market cap. So I'm just wondering, this concentration, do you think this is going to last, or how do these smaller stable coins kind of up and coming compete against the incumbents, and how do you see this playing out in the future?
So for this question, let me go first, and then you can share the the PQUSD in more details. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So from my personal view, I think there will be only a few major winners like the USDT and USDC to take up the vast majority of the market value, the market share in the crypto, because the most obvious reason is the network effects, right? So we have seen USDT and USDC. They have been under operations and also being used for 6 or 7 years, and they can benefit from the high trust and also high liquidity and also widespread acceptance from the crypto market, and making these stablecoins challenging for the newcomers to gain the market shares. And also users talking about the security, right? the users may prefer to choose USDT and USDC because they have established their reputations, and also they can show their regularly audit and also regulatory compliance for users to gain the users' trust. Right. So, and also the major users in crypto market, so they prefer to choose the high liquidity stablecoins, and also to make sure their assets to be stable and to face less risks. So that's why I think in the future it's quite difficult for the newcomers of stablecoins to challenge the USDC and USDT in the future. And I think the way they can I think the way of newcomers to challenge is to have the unique characteristics or features, just like the PQ USDT. So they can solve they have the feature of the anti-quantum, right? And anti-quantum attacks, and can help the users to prevent users from the quantum attacks in the future. So I think they need to have some unique features of the stablecoin itself.
Yeah.
To gain some market shares in the stablecoin market. Yeah. So that's my personal view.
Yeah, and
wow.
Danny, go ahead.
No, I just said no. I think Tao actually really touched upon what I was going to say. Right, not to kind of boast in terms of PQUSD, but it kind of hits the principle that I was trying to reach. Is like I, in principle, agree with what Tao said, that eventually there will be just a handful of winners. Okay, I also believe in that. Okay, and the way how these winners will come out, there will be different definition to what considered to be a winner, right? But regardless, those winners will be the ones with unique advantages that will eventually win out for whatever sector that they actually have that particular advantage is greatest in. Okay, so because stablecoin at the end of the day, right now, it's all about distribution, adoption, and network effect, as Tao said. So no doubt. Okay, so USDT, USDC, huge lead, and are they going to give up that lead in the foreseeable future? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you draw a comparison to our fiat Web2 world, right? You have US dollar dominate the world financial currencies, right? But there is a market for euros, there's a market for yen, and there's a market for CNY/CNH, right? If you really look into it, right? And then to a certain extent, you will have your Swiss francs, you have your Canadian dollars, all that. So from that standpoint, I think stablecoin will be more or less a similar comparison where maybe the bigger player will still dominate the pie. But let's not forget, this pie will actually grow, or it is my belief, right? In accordance with several, I would say, industry-leading voices and some studies, right? That you will actually grow pretty significantly in the next 5 to 10 years, right? It goes anywhere between, by 2030, right? There's been different indication. It goes anywhere between maybe $1 trillion. But right now, as Sam said, we're at 173 billion right now. It's a total stablecoin market, right? And then we have basically on more conservative end, which will be a Forbes report and a KPMG report, all kind of knock stablecoin market at about 1 trillion range by 2030. And then you got Jeremy Allaire on podcast, right, a few months ago saying that he thinks it's going to hit 3 trillion by 2030, right? You got this wide range.
Yeah.
Right? So you're looking at a minimum of maybe a 5-6x in the next 5 years, right? To as much as 15x. Okay.
Right.
So when the pie grows really big, right, you will actually see that for the smaller or more niche stablecoins, there is still a stablecoin with their actually market and use cases, and as I said, unique advantages, right, will actually still carve a pretty significant pie, right? So other than the two that everybody will continue to mention right now, right? If you look at, for example, PYUSD, right, it grew 3x in the like last 6 months, right? Because it actually has its own ecosystem with PayPal and a whole retail US, and you got to know that, as I said, as US kind of regulation become clearer, become more, hopefully more encouraging to the crypto and stablecoin industry, well, that's gonna grow, right? You got your third biggest fiat-backed, stablecoin in First Digital, which is also out of Hong Kong, right? They were at 4 billion at the highest. They're down to about 3 billion now, but they were actually doing pretty well with their partnership with Binance.
Okay.
Right. So when you have those kind of use cases, it drives the kind of adoption and usages. Right. I just want to bring it back to what Tao actually was saying, is that for PQUSD, we do believe this post-quantum qualities, capabilities will actually be, very useful, right, to certain type of players. And I can give you some examples, right? So, will a general retail population really care about post-quantum? At current point, most likely not much, right? As maybe the news of quantum threat become more and more, they will start, be more aware of it. But for larger institutions, right? For companies with different stakeholders behind, they actually would like, right, to have the most secured kind of a stablecoin, right? Whether they use it for their payment, whether they use it for settlements, or even corporate treasury, right? They need to make sure that when they hold this stablecoin, you won't go kapoof one day all of a sudden because some North Korean governments, the Lazarus group used the quantum computers and took everybody's stablecoin. Right? So definitely, I think from that standpoint, and given that stablecoin is more of a, as I say, it's more of a tool for these traditional institutions to kind of get on board. And I think we're all seeing like more and more institutional adoption these days, right? Of the stablecoin and crypto in general. So I do see the potential of adoption of PQUSD within a more institutional type of usages to be the opportunity to be quite great.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That kind of you may have preempted my last question, Danny, in terms of closing out. I think we're trying to keep it to 45 minutes. I just wanted to ask one last one. What use cases you guys are most excited about for stablecoins? And then maybe we could close out the AMA.
In that case, I'll just quickly say a few things and Tao can wrap it up because I'm already on the use cases, right?
Yeah, right.
So I think from a kind of PQUSD standpoint, I already mentioned about a lot of these kind of institutional use cases, right? Will be great. Actually, just to give you a very concrete example, right? As I mentioned earlier in the AMA, we're actually in the process of applying into the Hong Kong MA's sandbox program. And off that, we actually need to come up with, proof of concept about use cases to it. And one of them, we're doing it, given that we're based in Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong has one of the largest ports in the world, right? Logistics and shipping has always been very prominent, right? For Hong Kong and for Southeast Asian kind of economies, right? So one thing that I'm actually working on is if you look at supply chain and trade finance, right? It's actually not new. If you look at even when first blockchain, when it first came out, one of the bigger use cases has always been the supply chain, using blockchain technologies, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go from, kind of the shipment tracking to contract verification to kind of all this different kind of license certification, right? All that kind of stuff can be done on a blockchain, which actually makes sense for a supply chain standpoint. However, if you look at current supply chain, your end-to-end, what happens in the end? It's actually the payment settlement. And that actually is currently still being done by banks.
Okay.
And, it's still a Web2 kind of settlement,
Yeah.
right? And because obviously for a lot of these kind of bigger companies and more traditional companies, they don't feel very comfortable to deal with money that are not banks, right? And actually, as we are talking to our different partners, one of them is, maybe we can actually close this loop of supply chain management kind of use case by deploying stablecoin as the payment mechanism, a settlement mechanism for it. A stablecoin that's secure enough to make these institutions feel comfortable that by using this, they are, they are these, not only is fully backed, fully reserved one-to-one pegged to US dollars, and US dollars obviously is a preferred currency for all this kind of international shipping.
Yeah.
Right. So, so that's actually something we're working on. So I actually feel that institutional adoptions could drive, I'll leave Tao to talk about all the retail cases, but I think institutional adoption will actually be a pretty interesting use case, to drive the stablecoin growth in the next stage.
Right. Cool. What about you?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sam and Danny. Yeah, for me, I want to first talk about the use cases of stablecoins in a micro view. So the stablecoin or the use cases of stablecoin actually, it provides a freedom of the finance for many people in all over the world, because like Danny just mentioned China, right? Mentioned China and also other regions where there's no banking systems. So stablecoins provide an alternative way or an effective way for them to transfer their fiat money into USD stablecoins. So and then they can store their value of their fiat money, and also use these stablecoins in DeFi and also other traditional finance, which can be used in the USD, which can be used in the traditional finance. And accounted by the USD dollar. So that's about the financial freedom of people. So I think that's the most important use case of stablecoin itself. And then for the retailer side, stablecoin, I think the most useful cases for retailers or for general users is the cross-border payments, as I mentioned, because you can settle the payments using stablecoin in from seconds to minutes, depending on the network congestions. So you can use stablecoins to finish the cross-border payments in a very short time. If you try to do so in traditional banking, it might take you several days, and also your payment may fail because of the strict regulatory scrutiny or the censorship. So that's the most of use cases. It's about cross-border payment and also used in daily payments. for the general users. Yeah, and that's why I'm quite excited about stablecoins and the further application and further application of stablecoins in the daily uses in different regions all over the world. I think that may be a way for crypto and also for blockchain to achieve the mass adoption by stablecoins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it's a big pie to grow into, as Danny was pointing out earlier. So yeah, this is all the time we have, I think. We'll probably have to stop the AMA here. So yeah, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Tao, for joining. That was really good. And yeah, for everybody listening, just encourage you again to follow our Twitter, Abelian's Twitter, and then head over to the Telegram group where we're doing a Q&A competition to win some free tickets to the inaugural post-quantum blockchain day that we'll be hosting October 4th in Hong Kong. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks everybody for listening in, and we'll be doing our next AMA on Thursday in just 2 days. So yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.